guys, what's going on? It's MassiveJoes Raw Review, and I'm coming to you from MassiveJoes.com. Awesome Raw Review for the viewers at home today on our most popular creatine supplement from an Australian supplement company, Creatine Supplements. It's just been rebranded, relabeled. It is the pure creatine hydrochloride supplement that so many of you have come to know and love, but so many of you have yet to try yet. From Creatine Supplements, Creatine HCL Pure in the house. Let's get straight into it, show you guys exactly what it's going to do, show you exactly what's in it, tell you exactly what it's going to do. That nutritional information panel on this tiny little tub, look at the size, it's literally the size of the palm of my hands. Delicious new looking label, I might say. Ain't gonna get it done, we're about to go balls deep in this here Creatine Supplements, Creatine HCL Pure. Luckily, big ass nutritional information panel appearing on screen for you guys to follow along. Let's start from the top. Servings per tub, we've got 100 serves, and it's a 1 gram per scoop serve. So there's a 1 gram scoop, we'll get into that in a second, and it's a pure 1 gram serve, and there's 100 scoops, which equals 100 serves in each and every 100 gram tub, hundreds across the board here, of Creatine Supplements, Creatine HCL Pure. In terms of what is in each and every 1 gram scoop, there are no calories, there's zeros across the board. As you guys can see on the panel, it's zeros across the board there, because we are dealing with 100% pure pharmaceutical grade creatine hydrochloride, no flavors, no fillers, no sweeteners, no colors, no stabilizers, nothing. 100% pure pharmaceutical grade creatine hydrochloride. That is all that you get, which is what you want in each and every scoop of this Creatine HCL Pure. So because we don't have a formula to take a deep dive into here, let's talk a little bit about creatine and then specifically creatine hydrochloride. So when it comes to creatine, for most of you, this is going to be a little bit of a refresher, which is not a bad thing at all. Creatine is a precursor to a compound known as adenosine triphosphide, shortened to ATP. What is ATP? ATP is the energy source that our bodies use when it taps into the phosphate energy system, which is the energy source that our bodies use when we are performing short, sharp muscle contractions and anaerobic-based exercise. So by supplementing with creatine, it allows our body to produce more of this compound, adenosine triphosphate, produce more of this ATP. We therefore have more fuel to power short, sharp muscle contractions. We have more fuel to power anaerobic exercise. It allows us to train harder for longer, stimulate more muscle growth, and therefore boosts muscle power and boosts strength in particular. That's creatine. There are a bunch of different types of creatine, of course, creatine monohydrate being the OG type of creatine. There's proprietary types of creatine now, like creatine magnesium chelate, creatine magnapower. There's a whole bunch of, there's a full menu of creatines available on the market. Creatine hydrochloride, the only ingredient in this Creatine Supplements HCL Pure, is creatine bound with hydrochloric acid. The name kind of says it all. Why do you want to do that? Why do you want your creatine bound to hydrochloric acid rather than bound to magnesium chelate, rather than bound to a single hydrogen through creatine monohydrate? Couple of reasons why. The first reason is because it makes it superiorly soluble. Stuff that up. It makes it more, no, that's not going to work either. More soluble, let's just go with that. It makes it more soluble, specifically in water, and you guys will see how that plays out in a second. It also makes it highly bioavailable, meaning that because the hydrochloric acid component of the creatine is pH aligned with your digestive tract, with the human digestive tract, it's going to digest much more easily. Because it digests much more easily, you're not going to have as much waste product produced, you're not going to have stomach cramps or gastrointestinal discomfort of any sort, and it's therefore able to get into the bloodstream much more easily as well, which makes it more absorbable, get the creatine into the bloodstream, into your cells where you want it, so that it can do what creatine does, which is help our bodies produce more ATP. So that's Creatine Hydrochloride. Infamous MassiveJoes taste and mixability test about to go down. This is my personal tub right here of this Creatine HCL Pure. I will tell you guys right from the start, it is unflavored. So there's no flavors in here at all. So the only flavor that we're going to experience is what comes naturally from the creatine, and in particular the hydrochloric acid in the creatine hydrochloride. Scoop weight right here. 1 gram scoop. I can tell you guys from personal experience that this scoop, a level scoop, is bang on 1 gram. Creation have completely nailed this. It is, so that would not be a level scoop, that would be a heap scoop. If you level it off, you are getting 1 gram of exactly what you want, creatine hydrochloride, in each and every scoop. Infamous MassiveJoes taste and mixability test about to go down. Of course, I have in here, I'm going to leave the spoon in there. I have our double wall glass with a spoon. I'm going to take my 1 scoop of the Creatine HCL Pure. I'm going to drop it in there. You guys can see, I may not even have to mix this. This may almost mix itself. Let me give it a few flicks of the wrist. I'm going to show you guys how it mixes. And then I'm going to try and do my best to explain to you how it tastes from a pure HCL perspective, with no flavors, no fillers, nothing you don't want, everything that you do. As I mentioned, superiorly soluble. I think I nailed it that time. It mixes really, really well. You guys can see there, it is pretty much perfectly mixed across the board. I would go so far as to say turbo ball is not required at all. You can mix it right here in a glass if you choose to do so. All right, let's try this. I think the best way I can describe the taste of pure creatine hydrochloride to you guys is acidic, but not overly acidic. There's like a hint of like sour in there, and it's also a little bit tangy as well. It almost has like a vinegar type taste to it, like a white vinegar type taste. But mainly just very kind of minimally acidic, a little bit sour, and a little bit tangy in there as well. Obviously, most of us are going to be adding this to a pre-workout, to an amino acid sup, to a post-workout shake, for example. You're not really going to do what I just did and have creatine by itself. It's going to be stacked with something else, added to different supplements. When you are adding it to other acidic-based supplements, so pre-workouts, amino acids, superfood supplements, green supplements, anything of that nature, you're really not even going to notice that that Creatine HCL Pure is in there. You barely can, it doesn't really affect the taste at all because it's already acidic and you're just kind of adding a little bit more of what is already a natural undertone to the flavor of the supplements you're stacking it with. If you are adding it to something that is not acidic, let's say a post-workout shake that is protein-based, that has like a milky flavor to it or a milky texture to it, or even if it's a plant-based protein, it's not particularly acidic, you will notice the acidity that comes through when you add a scoop or 2 scoops of your Creatine HCL Pure. So you will, if what you're adding your Creatine HCL Pure to is not naturally already acidic tasting, you will notice the addition of it. If it is already acidic tasting, you're not even going to notice that the Creatine HCL Pure has been added. In terms of the effects, I am a massive fan of this particular type of creatine and this particular brand of this particular type of creatine. Guys, I have been using Creatine HCL Pure for, I'm going to say, how long has it been around? About 5 years or so? I've been using it pretty much since it came out. It is my go-to creatine of choice, so I have a lot of personal experience that I can pull from when I'm telling you guys about the effects. There is no doubt about it. When you are supplementing with a pure creatine supplement of this quality, you are going to feel big effects. You are going to notice that your strength increases very, very quickly when you start supplementing with a Creatine HCL Pure. You're going to notice that your muscle power increases during your workouts. You're going to notice that you're able to train harder. You're able to get more reps with particular weights or increase the weight. You're ultimately able to stimulate more muscle growth. So if you are trying to build muscle, if you are trying to improve strength, if stimulating muscle growth fits into your physique development goals, taking creatine is an absolute must. When it comes to the HCL Pure in particular, and this is going to kind of lead into side effects now as well, you're not going to experience any gastrointestinal upset. I have never experienced any bloating, any cramping, any gas, or any of those sorts of nasty gastrointestinal effects that you often do get with creatine monohydrate in particular, using HCL Pure. It's never happened. Not once in 5 years that I've been using this product. Never had any of that. I think there really are no side effects to kind of report from my personal experience with using the Creatine HCL Pure. The one general piece of advice that I will give is when you are supplementing with creatine, creatine's a precursor to ATP. Your body can only produce more ATP if you're giving it the building blocks to produce ATP, which means carbohydrates in particular, amino acids from protein, and increasing your water intake. So your diet has to be on point. If your diet's not on point and you're not hydrated, all of the effects that I just mentioned are not going to happen. You need those building blocks in place, and then you add the Creatine HCL Pure on top, and then your body's able to create more ATP with none of the side effects associated with monohydrate, so to speak, and then you're able to boost power, boost strength, build more muscle, and continue to create the physique that you're trying to create. When it comes to stackability, guys, incredibly versatile. Obviously, there's nothing in there that you need to worry about stacking with really any supplement. There's no flavors, there's no fillers, there's nothing. It's just pure, 100% pure, pharmaceutical grade creatine hydrochloride. So it stacks really, really well. In terms of what it compares to, this is a little difficult one for me to compare because when it comes to creatine hydrochloride supplements in their pure form, there really isn't anything on the market that compares to what Creation have done with Creatine HCL Pure. There are, of course, other creatine hydrochloride supplements, but they're flavored. There's fillers in there. They splice them with carbohydrates or splice them with taurine or, all sorts of shit in there that, frankly, you don't want, right? You're paying for pure creatine hydrochloride. You want pure creatine hydrochloride. So when it comes to pure creatine hydrochloride supplements, there's really nothing on the market quite like Creation Supplements Creatine HCL Pure. So there's really nothing I can compare it to. I can, of course, compare it to creatine monohydrate. And I think this is where a lot of you are kind of thinking, I've been using monohydrate for quite some time, or maybe I'm thinking about using creatine for the first time. Monohydrate is the OG, it's the obvious choice. Let's compare the HCL to the monohydrate. So a couple of things with monohydrate. It doesn't mix as well. So you guys can see, like literally, that's been sitting there with a full serve of creatine hydrochloride. It looks like a glass of water. You wouldn't know that there's creatine hydrochloride in there. If I took a full serve of creatine monohydrate, which is 5 grams, not 1 gram, we would have creatine monohydrate sitting in the bottom there, 100%. It does not mix as well as hydrochloride. It also doesn't digest as easily. Monohydrate is one of those supplements where a lot of users will report, I get stomach cramps after I take it, I get gas after I take it, I have gastrointestinal issues of this sort or that sort when I take it. It doesn't digest as easily because it's not pH aligned with the human gastrointestinal tract. The serving size is bigger, as I mentioned, so it's a 5 gram serve of creatine monohydrate compared to a 1 gram serve of creatine hydrochloride. And the reason why the serving size is so much bigger is because of the bioavailability, because it doesn't digest as easily, creates a lot of waste product called creatinine, which for a lot of people can be the cause of the gastrointestinal upset if it's not cramping in its own right. So the serving size is much bigger, which then begs the question, well, what about the value for money? Because this is a small tub, and we'll get into how much this costs in a second, but if you're spending the same sort of money, you can get a tub of creatine monohydrate almost twice the size. When we do the maths, so I'm gonna take our most popular creatine monohydrate supplement here at this point in time at MassiveJoes, which is Rule 1 creatine monohydrate in a 75 serve tub, which is, it's a lot of serves, 75 in there, retails for $54.95. So $55 for 75 serves. It comes out at 73 cents per 5 gram serve. And you guys will see in a second, it's actually more expensive than creatine hydrochloride at this point in time as I'm recording this video, because the price of creatine monohydrate has gone through the roof over the last 12 months or so. So creatine monohydrate is actually more expensive. That being said, it is the OG form of creatine. There is a lot of science-backed studies done on creatine monohydrate. There's not a lot on hydrochloride because the monohydrate's already been studied. It's effectively the same active ingredient, which is why there's so much on monohydrate and there's not a lot on other types of creatine, but it is the more traditionally used type of creatine. And that's really all I can say when it comes to comparing, and I think you guys can probably read into that yourselves. I mean, why would you not take creatine hydrochloride? The choice is ultimately yours. Who is it best for? Guys, both men and women of all ages, regardless of what sort of exercise you're doing, everybody is gonna get benefit out of supplementing with Creatine HCLPure from Creation Supplements. It really is a foundational supplement that should be, if not first, if not second, the third supplement that you add to your supplementation regime. Some would argue that it should be the first, but you know, each to their own. It is an absolutely fundamental supplement. If you are looking to increase physical performance, if you're looking to improve the way your physique looks, obviously if you're looking to improve strength and muscle power, creatine is an absolute must, and there's really nobody who can't take it. Finally, price and value for money. 100 serves of Creation Supplements Creatine HCL Pure. Current retail price is $59.95 in the Australian marketplace, which breaks out at 60 cents per serve. If you're taking 2 serves per day, a lot of people will just take 1, but let's say if you're taking 2 serves per day, so 2 full grams per day, it's gonna come out at about $36 per month. Comparing that once again to creatine monohydrate, because I know you guys are gonna do this anyway, so let me do the maths for you. 2 serves of creatine monohydrate across most brands at this point in time is gonna sit above $40 per month. So not only is Creation Supplements Creatine HCL Pure perfectly absorbable, perfectly mixable, I should say, perfectly soluble, very easily digestible, very easily absorbable, with none of the side effects that are associated with creatine monohydrate. It's actually, at this point in time, even better value for money. Guys, hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to the MassiveJoes YouTube channel, guys. Don't forget to turn your post notifications on your mobile, your cell phone, your desktop PC, your smart TV, and whatever other device you are watching this video on, so you don't miss a beat when it comes to all these new raw reviews and everything else we've got happening here on the channel. Guys, that is MassiveJoes raw review on Creation Supplements Creatine HCL Pure in the house. And I'm coming to you from MassiveJoes.com. Stay massive.
Thank you for tuning in to this video. We hope you enjoyed watching. Don't forget to check out our latest upload and our recommended video, and be sure to subscribe to the MassiveJoes YouTube channel to stay up to date with all of our latest uploads.